So I'm supposed to be preparing a lightning talk, I think in 13 days. And I need to I need to get started. Because I know it's going to creep up on me really fast. And I know it's only like 10 minutes, right? Um, but it's going to creep up fast. And there will be an audience of people. I'm not sure how many people, but I really want to do a thorough job disseminating information about things that I'm sure, about an idea that I'm sure a majority of people have not even contemplated, let alone considered. So this is the abstract that I submitted, and they said, "Yeah, Scott, that looks great. All right, do it." I'm like, "All right." So, name of the talk is specification is library, and then I pretty much just discuss, I'll just read that the software developers are often tasked with building business applications that are required to model and comply with business requirements. However, the source code for these applications often obfuscate their business requirements instead of reflecting them. This paradox can be remedied by using a strong type system and some domain-driven design principles. In this lightning talk, Scott Nimrod explains how business requirements can be converted into a compilable specification that application modules can interpret. The target audience for this talk are software developers. All right. So I wonder if that's my grammar's off. The target audience for this talk is software. Can I say is software developers? Because it's audience. Does Word complain either way? So I could say it is or are. How do I close this? Yeah, like I feel like it should be is, right? Because this audience, audience is singular. Target audience for this talk is software developers. But no, that doesn't sound right because it's software developers it's are. All right, anyways. So like I haven't done this in so long, man. Throw up a PowerPoint slide. Uh what do people call me all the time? I always get a New York call. All right, so what else do I want to discuss? All right, so like I need to like make this a slide deck, and I don't know. This template looks okay, right? Modern design, okay. I probably should have updated that. Okay, so what we do this? We say specification, and then down here say that this section is no as a library. Like that, maybe? I don't like this template at all. Uh, so then what? Smarter design idea. Yeah, this is kind of alien to me. So if I go back to my abstract, then I don't think I want to use this. I think I just want to use a blank template. Get out of this. Don't save. I'm just going to use a blank template. This right here. And then just say specification. As a library. Can I do that up here? And If that were the title here, what would the subtitle be? If I go over here, I don't think there is a subtitle. All right, F it. Now what? Well, add a new slide. See if anybody's actually watching me. Nope. All right, add a new slide. And what do we want to do? There's a couple things. So I want to reference one of the apps that I've built and use some examples out of there. And they say that a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? And so, what if I just start throwing images everywhere? Maybe I don't even need to have text. I just have images, and then I just give a dissertation on each image. So, okay. Mm, if I'm gonna talk about that, then maybe I have something like this. And maybe I capture this and I throw it on my slide. All right. Okay. And I say that file system, app file system reflection, something like that. All right. As a app file system reflection. Or I just leave like that. So file system reflects intent, application, domain, reflects application's intent. Or you could say purpose, something like that. I'm okay with that for right now. And so I show an example of high level files. And then I could say that let's imagine that we can have different subdomains in here. Okay, so let's you want to do this. You want to do it individual like this, right? Take this, and then we'll start something like that. And then maybe we can say, yeah, you could tell I'm a graphic artist because I got mad Microsoft Paint skills. So we have do something like this maybe. And I don't know if I can do it right here too. And something like that. Do I really want to maybe even it up like this? 90K, maybe make this a little bit even. It's high likelihood all this is going to be throwaway, but So then we zoom back. And maybe we want to add some text saying that these are subdomains, the application, maybe. Okay. So then we add that. We throw that right here. And so maybe I start off the talk in which I discuss how a file system can reflect an application's purpose. And well, maybe I should go do I really want to create like all my solutions, they all have the same type of file system. They're not this views, view models, services, repos, right? So then I don't know, maybe you have application, and then it has like views, and then view models, and then models, which I hate, and then services, and then repositories, like that. Okay. So what would I call this slide right here? I'll call this a typical file system. Okay. And then I could take that, and I wish I could like put a I wish I could have a divider separated here. But then again, if I did that, then it would probably be too distracting because now they have to look at two different things. But I could just say, oh, okay. I could just say, I could take the same thing right here, and I could say, just copy paste this format, and then I could say, file system. We want to say restructured. I don't know. I don't know what to call this. I call this over here purpose. I don't know. So IDK, and this is going to be a foundation. Nope. Okay. So I say foundation, and then here I say subdomain A, and then everything's just going to follow suit, right? Subdomain, yeah, like that. So there'll be A, B, C, B. I'm questioning. Yeah, maybe I could get rid of that stuff right there. Okay. And so and maybe that's fine. Okay. So I could say alternative file system like this. So typical file system, alternative file system, and then I could say reflect application. Reflect application purpose, something like that. And so I discussed that. Thing is I don't have animation skills. So, and I say foundation, blah, 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 blah. So then I can say, I take this slide and I put it back down. What's this over here? Okay, so that's fine. So, so what's the difference? Why did I do that? Okay. So maybe I could just take this right here and maybe I'll just throw that like that. Okay. Something like that. All right. So landing page, typical file system, alternative file system. And then this is an example of the alternative file system. Okay. And I mean, I'm just talking over this, right? Do I want to have any bullet points here? I don't think so, not yet. All right, so then what else do I want to do? I want to start drilling in deeper and say that your and do something like this right here, in which I am highlighting. The dog is getting on my nerves. Do something like this. Okay. And throw this here. So then, like, this is basically me. Okay. Hold up. I'm missing something. We can say app and external services like that. All right. Something like that. Yeah, so throw that in here. And that didn't look right. I can't make this thing bigger. Whatever. All right, so external services. Okay, something like that, maybe. See if I can capture that. Okay. All right, so maybe do something like that. I know for a fact I'm going to struggle to get to stay under 10 minutes. But basically, this is everything that's not related, that's not associated to your subdomain or to any of your subdomains. All right. Okay. So foundation, we get rid of that. All right. So what about your foundation? Am I going to put a text description next to that? Nope. I do see something that's off though. Can I pull this up just a little bit? That, and then to that. And it looks slightly. I don't know. Honestly, I don't think that made a difference. All right, so boom, boom, boom. That's 5 slides. And it's supposed to be a lightning talk. So then I show an account. Okay. All right. And so throw that in here. What am I supposed to? This stuff has titles, reflect the application's purpose, and then foundation. Apps foundation. Do that. Okay. Mm, okay. So then apps foundation, and then we throw in here a subdomain. Call this subdomain example, something like this. And how much can I blow this up before it looks weird? Maybe something like that. Actually, now I think about it, I don't like to blow everything up without it being too weird. Does that look too weird? Yeah, it looks kind of weird. All right, well, I'll take it back. So we do that. Something that I know this is missing is utilities, which I think I called like look at subscription. That just has data gateway, delivery, has a domain. I want to rename this to. I know I'm going to break this though, because right now on this builds, but I know they're not going to know what I'm talking about if I have this being called domain. It's really courier.delivery.utilities. If this builds, yeah, I think I'm just going to try to. I know it's going to break because I don't think Visual Studio is that smart to re-reference everything from doing a name change of a project within the solution. Let's see if I can get away with it. So we have subdomain, and yeah, I think subdomain is a word, right? So say subdomain. Yeah. All right. So see if this builds. If it does, I'm going to attempt, for the sake of this talk, lightning talk, imagery, rename this to courier.delivery.utils. So it built, and here we go. Is everything checked in? Should I make sure everything's checked in first? Get /m changes. All right, well, it looks like there's no edits. So I'm going for the gusto, and I'm going to say utilities. See how much damage I do. And it's claiming that it's restoring stuff. We see this background task being fired off. It says restored. Okay. Control Shift B. We'll figure out if it really does restore stuff, or if I literally have to remove references and then re-add them again manually, which is what I'm used to doing. We'll see. In the meantime, I mean, honestly, it could. Oh yeah, I got to check that in because or else it's going to deviate. Because I want everything to be consistent when it comes to the locks. I don't want to have a lock and then check a red check mark and then a plus sign. Well, you know what? The latest version of Visual Studio, they handled all that. Okay, good stuff. Everyone's calling me, man. All right, so well, if that's the case, then I should probably rename other things in here too. So that should probably be called utilities. Okay. Uh, Utilities over here. We're good there. Okay. So all that stuff should be good. And so rename domain library to utilities library, something like that. Can I commit and push while I'm building? No. Mm, all right, so that's pushing. That's pushed. Okay. So then I'll go back to my slide. This was. Why do I feel like this is too big? No, because it is. Okay. So this is the account, and I I show an example of account, and what do I want to do? This talk is about specification as a library. So do I really care about all the other libraries? Maybe. We'll do the one we just added, which was delivery. Okay. And we will go something like that. Okay. And now what? We'll call this counts, something like that. And maybe I don't even have to say subdomain, I'll just call it account. And then over here, I could call it delivery. Something like that. Okay. Now we have 7 slides for a 10-minute talk. Well, technically, the first one is just the title, but even that is going to require a summary of what I'm going to talk about. I feel like I need to have like it's probably going to be like at least 10 slides. All right, so now what, Willis? Well, account is going. I need to zero in on that, and need to. Yeah, I need to zero in on that. It's right here. Okay. And what do I want to do? Boom. Boom. Now, maybe I'll like how do I want to do this? Do I just want to go from account subdomain, delivery subdomain? Probably, because I don't want to distract them. Like I need them to zero in. Um, so then if I say if we revisit the I don't know what just happened. If we revisit the account subdomain, probably do something like this, right? And then maybe I could just blow this up, maybe, where it's like, I want to, yeah, something like that, maybe. Um, okay. So then I could say account specification. This right here can probably be annotated. Right. Okay. Something like that. Okay. So then I started this. I began discussing. I feel like this is still kind of blurry. So I began discussing specification. Okay. And then what? Well, yeah, my style's changed since then. Uh, my style's changed since then. See, now, like, now what I do is I have this notion of a account API. I have something like that, or I might just call it API. And so the way I do things now is I'll I'll have this. Um, this will be called module API. And then I'll take these items here. And now I'll just comment it out, but I'll dump them in here. Okay. And this is going to be a courier account operation import. Open. Technically, I could just say open operations. And it should just work, right? Should just be able to do that. Okay. Control Shift B. And now I just need to open up or add an additional import. Wherever I see an error, like these right here. Trying to navigate back up there. All right, so all this stuff right here. This would be API. Yeah. I think I need to do something like that. Okay. Control Shift B. Get rid of the warning sign or filter out the warnings. And okay. Accounts is okay. Let me go to the output window and see what the errors are. Okay, see if there's some root errors that will help me out better. Okay. Oh, okay. That helped out. Control Shift B. Are you going to build for me? I think it's going to build. No. Okay. What else? What else? I wish I could just stop it from that. So then, okay. And I just keep on going through this ripple effect. It's more errors. Okay. Control Shift B. Keep going through it. I don't even know what this token is. See how neat my code is? Yeah, I wrote that. All right, so now let's check this in. So I can return back to my example. Added accounts.api module. Okay. I forgot I was even doing. All right, so we gotta go back to the slides. We have this notion of this, yeah, the specification. We have operations. Oh shit! I checked it in. I didn't remove this. Removed dead code. All right, so we nip that in the bud. So then we can go back and we can go back and we can do this over here. Okay. And then we can go back to our slide. And we can say that our it's going to be a couple things. One is just down here, all right? And then we also need to say that we have this notion of yeah. So let's do this. I love programming in F Sharp, man. It feels good when you can program and code that you actually enjoy. Like it feels good. How do I do this? So should I leave out APIs for right now? Probably. They don't need to know about that. Uh-oh, what up, Willis? All right, there we go. So we got this notion right here. Let me pull you up like this. What up? We gotta draw an arrow so the audience knows what I'm talking about. Okay. Yeah, like that. Okay. Let me go back. Something like that. Okay. Oh, Willis. So we do that. Big fingers popping. Okay. Something like that. Okay. I got to give it a name. All right. So we say count operations. And say spec. Specification. Okay. I guess I should say this. I guess I should have said it. Put it right there now. All right. So now what? We got to talk about language. Okay. Something like that. All right. So yeah, I could just do it like this, and they'll get what I mean. Okay. Mm, all right. Maybe that's not what I want. Maybe. Well, whatever. Maybe it's just better if I just do it like this and just make it more of a rectangle. Maybe it'll fit better. Um, maybe not. Something like that, maybe. Uh, maybe not. Hold up. So, like I say, account, language, specification, account operations, account language, specification, something like that. Okay. Anything else? They don't need to know about APIs. What they do need to know about is view models that now reference the specification. Okay. So Yeah, it's getting dark early, man. All right, so we now have this notion of, I don't know what the SDK means. We'll do this right here. Okay. And I want to draw attention to these specification items right here. And for whatever reason, even though I draw a rectangle around it, I always do a combination of an arrow and a rectangle. Like that. This is going to take more than 10 minutes. All right, so the next slide is, this is going to take more than 10 minutes, man. So your data gateway is going to have references to it as well. Something like that. Crop it. That. And draw an arrow. Oh, like that. Hold up. Draw an arrow. That. And we'll plant that over here. Something like that. So then, okay. Application, modules. Application module references. Application modules. I'll just put application modules like that. And do I want to put anything? You know, there used to be a time where I used to, yeah, whatever. Anything else? We need to show, boom, boom. They probably want to see, it being referenced. So go back to operations. Are you going to show up in the data gateway? Yeah. That's weird. Okay. So we could take this whole thing. Dude, what? So much. Oh. So we can now take this whole thing right here and now I could annotate this with that was weird though. The supply is supposed to be you like that? Yeah, I like that. Oh, that. Okay. So now I can I should should I use a different color? Maybe I'll use yellow because blue is used all out here. Boom. Naturally, hold up. Start over. Do this. Oh, capture that. Now. What's happening? What's happening? Hold up. All right. So point to this right here. All right, do that. And then take an arrow right here. And obviously they see that. All right. Okay. And what LCD is left up, man. Hold up. Yeah, that's probably fine. All right there. And then we want to do this right here. And we want to do this right here. Well, I probably don't have to do all that. Okay. Okay. Now what? Do this. Okay. And we did all that to, all right, so I say, let's say operations right here. And then I want to inject right there how it gets implemented. Okay, so maybe I don't need those details over there. Maybe I just need this. So then I call this a app module interpreter, or I could just call it interpreter of specification. Okay. Now, I wonder if I can do something like this. Copy that. I wonder if I could just shove that somewhere. I want to grab it a little bit above, like that. And I wonder if I could do something like that. Okay, I don't like that either. For that. And then we can just snip that, snip, and then move this up, move this up some, that, and then that. And all right, so can I throw this anywhere? I mean, theoretically, I want to be able to put this right there, and then take this and do that right here. Okay. So I say that we have operations, I say apply, and then I demonstrate that, hey, in this, why do I call that courier a dot account? Why don't I just call it account? Why did I do that? I don't know why I did it. It doesn't matter. All right, so I do that interpreter. Specification interpreter. Something like that. I kind of like this. All right. Thing is, so I now have a dozen slides. It's not going to fit into 10 minutes. Here's language. Okay. How do I? Okay. Here we have a courier account data gateway, and well, we don't want to reference the implementation. We just want to reference the specification. We want to reference the abstraction. We want to specifically implement the contract that is expressed in the operations module of that specification. And we want to be able to reference the language that that specification relies on. In this case, it's the language module, right? And this language module is essentially a module of just the data structures that we're going to be using for this particular specification. And that's it. All right, so I could say it something like that. And I'm pretty content with this right now. I don't know how I'm going to fit 10 minutes into this. Specification as a library. Let's see how this looks. Oh shit! I forgot my F5 button doesn't work. So how do I play this? Specification as a library. A typical file system has the following. You have your application that is the container, and then you essentially have your views, view models, services, repositories, right? An alternative way of looking at this is having an application that will have a foundation or the core scaffolding, but then has subdomain A, subdomain B. Maybe I should call it scaffolding. I'm thinking about renaming everything to scaffolding. Well, because the foundation is what you put things on top of. Scaffolding is, what's the difference between scaffolding and foundation? It's a temporary structure. Okay, so it's not scaffolding. Scaffolding is temporary. All right. So specification of the library, your application usually is going to have, and this is for most applications that I've come across, it's showing folders or layers of the application. All right. So typical file system is layers. All right, but then you have your alternative file system is subdomains, business domains, something like that. Well, I'll just call it a business file system. But okay, so yeah, yeah, I could frame this saying, all right, so then we say this is a layered file system. Yeah, so I can say typically when we're building enterprise systems, it's a layered file system. It's views, view models, services, repositories. But maybe we can consider having a business oriented file system. Yeah, BL. There we go. So layered. So this is a system oriented file system. A layered oriented file system. Business oriented file system. And for a business oriented file system, we should consider reflecting the application's purpose. Reflect business. Reflect business. Reflect the business of the application. Reflect business of application. There you go. I like it. All right. So we have a business oriented file system, which is you have your application, you have your foundation, and then you have your different domains of the business. Subdomain A, subdomain B. All right. Okay. So reflect business of application. Boom. Account, subscription, delivery, transactions. Oh, fuck. Compensation is messed up. Can I fix you? You don't let me fix you. See if I can fix you. Looks fine to me. All right. So reflect business of it. Application as a business. Ooh, I like that. Application as a business. Okay. So business oriented file system. You have your application, you have your foundation, you have your subdomain A, subdomain B. So it's really your application as a business. And that could be your account, subscriptions, delivery, transactions, compensation, messaging. All right. I like it. Applications. Applications foundation could be the following. It could be your device platform that is a library. All right. So it could be composed of various libraries that would, okay, let's see. So your foundation is essentially a directory of what your business domains are going to rely on, what your business subdomains are going to rely on. So they're going to rely on a UI layer, right? That's pretty abstract. Nope, can't say that because they have their own UI layer. All right, so I'm going to say, so they're going to rely on the device platform, whether it's Android or iOS, if it's WPF, whatever it is, they're going to rely on that. They're going to rely on maybe some core language, aka data structures, that's shared throughout the application, and anything that is not business or domain centric can be thrown in here, right? So in this case, I have a folder for all the libraries that are related to the application itself, and then from the UI point of view, and then like all the libraries that are part of the foundation for supporting external services. Cool. So then, say an account. Account file system. So I can say account domain. Okay. I can say delivery domain. That. So we have an account domain. It may look like this, where we'll have a specification folder, which I'll discuss later. And then we have different libraries, account library, a view models library, and a data gateway library, all these for an account. And then we have a delivery delivery domain. And for the delivery domain, right, we have a UI library, we have a view models library, we have utilities library, which is essentially data conversion or data converters or functions that are responsible for converting data, right? And then you have your data gateway. Now, the title of this talk is specification as a library. So if we really examine the specification folder right here, then we can consider what exactly is a specification, right? Well, maybe tests can be part of a specification. So we could throw our test library in here. Okay, well, in addition to tests participating as a specification for a particular domain, well, what is this specification library right here then? Well, I'll tell you. I would like to view a specification as operations and language. All right, so then I could say I would like to view a specification as essentially a set of operations and terminology. And that's it. All right, so okay, so I'll frame that better, but say a specification is essentially operations that rely on language. A specification is business operations that rely on business language. Okay, specification relies on the language of a business and the operations of a business. Boom. Okay, that's it. So a specification is the language of the business and the operations of the business combined. Specification is the operations of a business that relies on specific terminology. I'll figure that out. All right. It's language and operations. So a specification for a business domain is operations and language. Right? Operations would look like the following. So for this being an account, there's a apply operation, there's a get status operation, there's get new messages operation, there's a get token operation, right? Okay. The language would be applicant ID, right? Verification code, token. Those are examples of language. Pending review, registration status, new courier messages. Right? All this is language. So every specification probably should have an interpreter. Right? In this case, our interpreter is usually the data gateway, right? Because if you notice, specification kind of outlines I/O operations. The data gateway is an interpreter of that specification. We see an example here that there's within our data gateway library, there's a post module. This post module exposes a function called application, and this function actually implements the apply contract. Say contract or interface. It's implements the apply operation. And so this apply operation requires an applicant. We see the signature right here. All right, type apply. This is a function type. Type apply equals applicant as the first argument, and the result of that function is going to be an async result that, if successful, is going to be a pending review. If it's not successful, it's going to be an error description. Okay. Language. Yeah, I feel like this language should probably go right after operations. So, boom. So we should probably have a account.language. I don't know what I changed. Call it formatting. Okay. So how did I do this? Specification gets highlighted. The folder gets highlighted. No, the project gets highlighted. And then I have an arrow pointing to, okay, so do that. That's right here. That right there. That. Crop that. Throw a arrow. And how do I have this? How close do I have it? Okay, that. Like this? Okay. Nope. like that. Then throw this over here, like that. Uh-oh. There you go, little fella. All right, so that, and then we bring you over here. That maybe, I don't know, IDK. I like it. We could bring this up a little bit. All right. And okay. Mm, mm, mm. Mm. It's system layered. Interior architecture. I can call it like interior. So, say interior, not presentation, logic. Yeah. Okay. So, we usually see an application that's mapped, or we usually, in most of the solutions we see that the file system is reflective of an interior file. I don't like that. F that. Layered oriented, tiered oriented file system. I don't know which one I'm supposed to use. Interior file system or layered oriented file. Layered. I like layered better. F that. All right. So yeah, that's about it, man. I think all these slides are essential. The last one is I got a. I noticed I had a viewer. All right, he left. All right. So the last one is I think illegal. I want to do my. Are you serious? Hold up. That's not right. Let me open the browser. Negro, give me my. You're getting my stuff, man. What do you like to use? Why do I have to do this? I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. And I gotta figure this out. It's not outline though. Why do I have to do all this? I don't understand why I have to do all this. Not that. Documents. I am going to close this. Okay. And where? Why am I having such a hard time? I don't know for a fact I had this saved. Hold up. Why is this? Oh, jackpot. Okay, I found it. Can I copy you? I'm gonna try to copy you. Oh, something's not right. Let's see if I can copy you. All right. So the last slide is my signature. Oh yeah. Oh, there we go. All right. So I could share this again. Share my screen. I'm very proud of my last slide. It's the end. All right, I like it. I like it. All right, so boom, boom. Special chocolate, y'all. Okay, so how we do this? We do a slideshow. We do from beginning, and then I say specification as a library, layered oriented file system, application, views, view models, model services. I'm saying maybe we should consider a business oriented file system instead, in which we have our foundation that the business relies on, but then we actually have various domains of the application that within those domains are going to have vertical slices of functionality that's specific to those domains, right? So we have our foundation, we have subdomain A, subdomain B, right? And that subdomain A can be something like account, and subdomain B can be some other business domain like delivery or something if we were building a delivery app. Um, so what I'm suggesting is instead of having this n-tiered type file system or this layered file system in which we look at the file system within our Solution Explorer and its views, view models, services, repositories. That doesn't tell me anything about the application at all. It doesn't tell me how to navigate to where I need to navigate. Oh, okay. Well, if I need to extend a data structure, maybe that means I got to go to the models folder, but then there's probably a whole bunch of model classes or model type classes, and they're all thrown in the same folder. I mean, that's a violation alone of SRP or single responsibility principle. You keep code together that belongs together, but you keep code apart that changes for different reasons, right? But that's not what we're doing. But this is what we're fed all the time, but that's not what we're doing. So maybe we should just completely eradicate with extreme prejudice this this systemic design approach to the way we build our enterprise applications. Instead, why don't we entertain the notion of our application being a business and not an n-tiered system, right? Our application really is a line of business, right? So we may have our foundation that has the infrastructure that our that the various subdomains of our business will rely on, but maybe we can actually model those business domains within our application itself, where it's clear, it's apparent. And when we look at the Solution Explorer, we see the intent. We see that our application actually has purpose. We see what the application does at a high level. In the previous approach, the application has views, has view models, has services, has repositories. But we don't know what the application does. We just know that it's a application that has presentation and it has a back end. But we don't know anything about it, right? So what I'm saying is maybe we should reconsider how we do things, and maybe we should refactor, but distinguish the layers of the system from the areas of business that this application is meant to handle. So here's an example of applications foundation, right? And then I have this divided or partitioned into two other folders, right? Several of these libraries belong to the application folder itself, which is kind of UI centric. I won't say UI centric. So a lot of this contributes to application logic that's contained within the application itself. But I also have another folder labeled external services that, well, stuff related to external services. All right, so I gotta work on how I'm going to discuss that. So let's discuss the account domain. Maybe our account domain can look like the following. We have a folder called account within our Solution Explorer. We have a subfolder called specification, and then we can have our layers, right? We can have our account.ui, account.viewModels, account.datagateway. Okay, and we can do the same thing for our delivery domain. We can have a specification folder under our delivery domain, and then we can have a delivery.ui, delivery.viewModels, delivery.utilities, delivery.datagateway. Okay. Now, if we want to drill into like specification, then this is what it could look like. For our account, we can have this courier.account.specification and courier.account.tests. Why do I have tests in there? Well, because to me, tests are a form of a specification. A test, whether it's example-based test or properties-based test, it's going to tell you exactly what the input is going to be, what the operation under test is, and what it means to assert that that operation works to the spec. So why not throw this test library in there? Now, within the specification, I have two different modules, two different files. One file is language, the other file is operations. In regards to operations, I found in my personal practice that operations for a given subdomain of an application is usually I/O related and usually relate to backend services. So these operations are the following. Like for an account, we apply, get status, get new messages, get token. All right. I'm going to show an example of apply. And fuck, mess it up too. All right, so I'm going to have to go over this every morning and every evening to make this coherent. All right, so then we have language. A language is essentially the data structures that a domain relies on, and that's it. So here's an example of some data structures. Am I really using it? Hold up. Address. I don't think I'm using the address anymore, am I? Hold up for a second. Do I really have you represented as a discriminated union? There's no references found. What should be? All right. So I'll discuss that. Specification interpreter. I found in my practice is my data gateway for a given domain. So here's an example of us implementing, or here's an example of an interpreter for the apply operation. Remember, our apply operation required an applicant, and it would result in, well, in a sync result that if successful would be a pending review, else it would be an error description. And so we see how we have within our post module an application function that's exposed that implements the apply operation. And we see that this is our argument right here, or our parameter in this case, applicant, and it does some things. Application modules can reference the specification, and when they do this, they're not referencing the implementation details. They just reference the language and the operations that need to be implemented. Okay. So they need to reference the language and or an abstraction of the operations that they depend on. And that's it. All right, so that is going to be the big mound of clay, and then I gotta take an ice pick and I gotta start chiseling away, right? Make that into a sculpture. I'll get it done. All right, so this is my first. I actually have someone looking at this. So this is my first hit or attempt at this F# Exchange lightning talk that I have. And I think I have the main slides in here. I just have to work on my mouthpiece and make sure that it's congruent. I'm not thinking a lot, reaching in my thoughts, and so I'll just practice this in the morning and in the evenings, and then hopefully it'll just become more congruent and it'll flow better. That's what I hope. So I am hopping off unless this one person that is looking at my video or stream has any questions or statements. And I'll give that person 10 to 15 seconds before I log off, man. So that's it. I could close you. And oh shoot, I could get rid of you. That is okay. So that is this being referenced anywhere? Oh yeah, it's being referenced. All right. So let me. and then and then and then say deleted dead code, whatever. And nope, looks like you're not saying anything, so I am out. Peace.